Hello guys, this is my fourth Seton's cast, I guess, and today we have another top level Setons. This game was put in the forum by FoleyBTS, and since I played in this game, I remember this one being a very even fight, and well, there was some good play to be seen, I guess. So let's start up with the top team. Here we have Crotalus playing Aeon as front. He's a very good player, probably better on the Navy side than up front, but we'll see what he can do. On the beach we have CrazedChariot, top level naval player. For the top side we have Hokuto Ryuken, better known as Hokuto Shinken. He is a long-time Seton's veteran. He's very good on any spot. Here we have VIP, classic Seton's Pro, just came out of retirement, I guess. Getting better with each game he's playing. Here we have BC Tiep. He's very good Seton's player. He is probably his best spot is front, but he's really tough on Navy as well. This will be a very good battle between those two guys. And here we have FoleyBTS on probably his, or maybe it's his strong spot, I don't know. He's playing air for the South team. And on rock we have another French player. Hokuto is also French. It's Lion. He has been playing as Killer 652 back since 2007, I guess. I've played a lot of games with him, and it's always an intense battle with him. He's playing rock for the bottom team. He's a very strong overall player. So, although he's very good, I would give a slight advantage to CrazedChariot. Oh, I forgot myself. I'm Styrbjorn, playing front for the bottom team, as here we have. We can see here Crotalus reclaiming with his engineer, and my engineer reclaiming also. I remove the engineer now, that it's not getting shot by Crotalus commander. I don't know if he has spotted my engineer. You can just see the beam from the reclaim now. And I spot Crotalus commander, Crotalus engineer, so I kill it. Crotalus sees my engineer now, but he doesn't kill it. So we see a scout and a tank, and a scout and two tanks here. Of course, the Aeon tanks have the range advantage, which is very good early on. Now two tanks just getting killed. And that's not good micro bonus stuff. I should not have sent the tank there. But I can reclaim here, and I will probably get those frags too. And if Crotalus is not going here in a straight line now, I will get those two wreckages as well. I guess I will end up with a significant mass advantage in reclaim, but I'm not sure. Anything else happening? Not really. Looks like VIP has air control here. Lion did not go for his island yet. Yeah. but CrazedChariot is not trying to block the island either. So, and as it happened, I get that wreck also. I don't know why I stopped reclaiming there. Probably a mistake. Probably just wanted to move there, not Crotalus getting this last wreckage here. Now Crotalus should already have used those tanks, and that is tragic. He loses the engineer, although he has probably total tank control in this area. And I really got those 2 wrecks, and there is not much reclaim left in this run, but of course I should have sucked that wreck as well. Here's 1 Tech 2 wreckage left, and, but I think it's time to check on the reclaim stats. Oh, I cannot see the number of reclaim because the 3 players a couple of weeks old before it was implemented into FAF, into FAF. So I cannot get exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure I would say it was like 7.5k to like 5.5k, or even better for me. You can see Lion and Foley and Tiep, they're all ahead of their opponents, and that is the reason for that is they got much more overflow, and I have a much better eco than Crotalus yet. Not much better, but a bit better. So now, by minute 6, VIP has taken his island, and Lion has taken his island too, pretty much uncontested. We see a drop incoming here. Don't know, this looks like just a lonely engineer. I don't know what Lion wants to do with it, but we will see. Also, we see here air dominance by Lion over Crazed's territory. Crazed has basically no air. That's not typical for Crazed. Crazed usually has a lot of early air and air control. This engineer is going to be dropped off somewhere. I don't know. I don't think it will do anything, but maybe this one becomes a hero. If he drops it there, he should start building something. We see Tech 2 Gatling bots now. We see Tech 2 tactical missile defense. Crotalus is probably afraid of the tactical missile launcher by the commander, which I do not have. But of course, as Aeon, the tactical missile launcher from the commander is a huge problem, because those TMDs have a very small range, and you need to place one next to every max basically, and to protect it. You can go with one here and one here to protect all those 4, but other than that you need one besides each of your maxes, so the tactical missile launcher is a pain for air. So right now there is not a lot of action. No front player wants to push. We do not see navy built by any player basically. I think there is no ship in play here at minute 8:50. One interesting thing Lion always does is the wall here, and it's actually a pretty good idea, I think. And what it does is the engineers here, if you put them on the naval yard and do not have this wall, they will walk around here like this and support the factory after a 5-minute march, and they will be on water. And if you close this gap here and close the wall, they will, the pathfinding, the way it works, they will realize there is no way for them to get on water to support the factory, and they will assist from here to the factory. And what it does is, you see he's building a shield here. There's basically no other way to protect your build power from bombardment or other ships shooting other than this, I think. And it has a lot of advantages. It has some disadvantages also, but it is a nice way to do, because it's getting really hard to keep him out of the water if he does it this way, because you cannot kill his build power with frigates, with Tech 1 bombers. He will build his ships, and it's very hard for someone else to prevent you from building the ships. Now you see the wall was not closed, and the engineers tried to take that pass, but Line noticed it, closed the wall, and now the engineers, I suspect, will go back. We can see Line upgrading the factory to Tech 2. I think he's trying to get RAS and does not have a lot of power. He has enough power, he's out of mass now. He has paused his commander upgrade. Someone else getting RAS too? No. Line is just very slow with his RAS. He should focus on it now, because the longer it takes, there will be... Right now you can see Foley is already starting his production, and now Line wants to go on with the RAS but has no power overflow anymore, because Foley is consuming all but 700 of his power. So he should have already been done with the RAS. That is not perfect timing, but Tiep should go next. So let's have an economy check. It looks like Foley is slightly ahead of Kuto in terms of mass income. Now it looks like he's way ahead, but yeah, it's not between 20 and 30 mass income ahead. Lion is about equal in mass with Crazed. Of course, now his power mass is dropping because he's probably again out of power. He's still not done with the RAS, which is bad. And Tiep and VIP are also very even on mass. Of course, it looks like VIP has his RAS done. Yes, he does, which is very good. It looks like the top side did a much better job. Yeah, and now Craze is doing his RAS. And Lion's still not done with his RAS. His commander is paused. This is bad. He has no power overflow. He's not getting his RAS done. Tiep is already complaining how long this RAS is gonna take. And he's right, that this is really bad for the bottom side now. But they are losing their eco advantage now, which they clearly had early on. Let's have a look on the mid. There is basically nothing happening. Okay, I think now we do another mistake. Lion is done with his RAS, and I started my RAS. This was not very communicated, because Tiep is also halfway in his RAS. And I think we did a very poor job, considering we are all very good players. We should coordinate that much better. But of course, I think it started with Line, who just took ages for his rest. When he started while Foley had overflow, he must have gone for it 100%, so he's done fast. So. And now here at minute 14 we can see a strategic bomber by FoleyBTS, killing the second Tech 2 max with surroundings. So this is a huge loss at this time of the game. In numbers, Hokuto sending his ASF in now, 16. He does not have a scout with. That's what you should always have early on. Until you have an Omni sensor, you really need a scout within your ASF. 16 there was. Foley has 13 and just 11 in this area, so and you can see that the Strat Bomber got killed by Hokuto, who really has numbers at the moment. Yeah. So, but I think Foley got 3 maxes at least, so it was definitely worth it. You can see Foley is 50 ahead on mass, which is quite significant. That early on he's also ahead in power. He's not ahead on score, I don't know why, or not much ahead. And we can see CrazedChariot being slightly ahead of Line, although Line has 6 more maxes as the rock player. That's what this position is called. And we can already see here at minute 15 a huge movement of build power by CrazedChariot. He's having a lot of Tech 1 naval yards. He's going for a huge frigate spam. He's already a Tech 2 naval yard, going for shield boats here. Yeah, this is good stuff by Craze. He's already a couple of Tech 3 maxes, and so, but Line is not that much behind, and also Line has a huge frigate spam we can see here, and he already has a huge or a big Tech 2 spam. On the other hand, we see a Tech 3 torpedo bomber killing the early cruiser by VIP, and the Tech 3 top survives, and Foley will probably retreat it for now with the incoming ASF. We see VIP being behind of Tiep, and in mass income, not in score. That was 50 mass. I mean, he lost a bit there. It would probably be dead even if it was not for the bomber. When we look at the front here, it looks like I have to retreat. There are mobile missile launchers. There is no shield left. There are 3, 5, 4 artilleries. The build is being built, so this is dead area for me now, and I have to retreat. What you should always do in this situation, you should click on your commander and take a Tech 2 artillery, because that was shooting, and put it on here, and there now you can see the range. And I remember in that game I did that too, and I decided to build here, because the artillery range was somewhere here, so I need to build out of artillery range, because if I build inside artillery range I would just not build anything. And right now, when you build outside of the stationary artillery range, it is probably, you could say it's almost out of use. So and you can see Tech 3 land with mobile artillery here right now. Since I had to retreat, I have no radar at the moment, which is bad. My Tech 2 commander is getting upgraded to Tech 3 now. There's a lot of engineer support, which you should always do when you upgrade your commander to Tech 3, since the Tech 3 upgrade is taking a rather long time. And you can see a Tech 3 engineer here building a Tech 2 shield, and now building the Omni sensor, which is very important for the team, especially for the air player, because when you do not know the other player's air positioning, bad things can happen. There can be snipes, and you cannot notice them, and you can have a bad positioning with your ASF when you're going into an airfight, because you just notice his ASF in the last second when he has better positioning. So the Omni sensor is really essential and should be built. Actually, it's very late for me at minute 19 to have one. I bet Crotalus already has one. Actually, they have a Tech 2, and probably Hokuto is mass stalling. Yes, he is a bit. That's why it's taking so long for them to upgrade. It looks like Crotalus is power stalling. He does not have res yet, and he's probably, he's getting the second res now. So in terms of eco, Styrbjorn is much ahead of Crotalus by almost 100 mass. That will become important later, I guess. VIP still has a Tech 1 max here. Of course, those maxes were bombed some time ago. What I suggest when you expect inferior air on your side, you should take one cruiser, park it here, and one cruiser, park it here. That way you prevent most of the bombing. And if they bomb, they just drop one bomb. And also you can prevent drops on your island, which are really annoying. So I would suggest taking two cruisers, one here, one here, if you can afford it, of course. But in the Navy battle like this, the cruiser doesn't do that much anyway. There is no rush from either side, so I think it would be worth it to position those cruisers here. VIP should already have had Tech 3 naval yard, because the Tech 2 destroyers are so bad from UAF. You really want Tech 3 navy. You want like two against Seraphim. I would usually go with like two battle cruiser and then a battleship, and then look on how the other players' navy look like. If you want more battle cruiser or more battleships, and also you probably need a couple of Atlantis to deal with the Tech 3 subs, or you can, if you have air control, you can go with Tech 2 torpedo bombers against the Tech 3 subs, and while you dominate everything above water with your battle cruisers. You should also get some hover spam. The Riptide is probably the best hover tank, and because of its high rate of fire, it is advantageous over the Seraphim hover spam. It looks like I missed a drop here, which obviously did not do a lot of damage. Seems like the Omni sensor is done now, so once the Omni sensor is up, what the air player should do once it is up, he should do one full scout, because if you have an Omni sensor up, of course you keep the intel once you have scouted it. Crotalus is keeping, is closing the gap, so he's getting closer very fast in terms of eco. When you look in terms of score, you see that the two front players are in low score, but they are not that far. You can see that both players on the right side have almost exact the same score, and both players on the left Navy side also. In terms of eco, they are all in the same league or area, and this is really a good balanced game. I'm pretty sure it was a random spawn, also with random factions, so we did not know the teams ahead of time. But of course, those with the skill level with the given players, we are all kind of close to each other. So I mean, there are some differences, but I think it's you will get a very good game with this kind of players most of the time. So now here we see a Tech 3 Naval Yard line, and he's now producing Tech 3 battleships. We see a second Naval Yard upgraded to Tech 3. I like this. The Tech 3 Naval Yard, the non-HQ one, is really cheap. I think it's like a 1,200 mass, and you also get a bigger build power, and even if you use it to spam Tech 2 ships, it's not that bad. But of course, Lion is going for Tech 3 ships, which is the right choice. He's pausing his engineers into the Naval Yard now. He is not... It does not have all maxes to Tech 3, so needs to do some work. When we look at the eco, there's nothing really happening now. When we look at the Navy, Lion has 66 frigates, 3 subs, 2 cruiser, 11 destroyer and 1 battleship. And when we look at what Crazed has, Crazed, as far as the Tech 2 ships go, Crazed has 0 destroyers, 0, which is exactly the correct number. VIP should also have 0 destroyers. Instead, Crazed has 3 battlecruiser, which is exactly what he should have, and already 2 and the 3rd battleship incoming. This is basically the best composition, or it's almost a perfect composition for UAF Navy. Of course, unless what Lion could do here, he could have made those Tech 2 stealth subs, and Crazed would not know that because they are stealthed, and Crazed might not have seen them yet. That would be very annoying because Crazed has, of course, no torpedo boats yet. The torpedo boat is not very good unless you fight subs, so unless you know the other guys building them, you should not have many of those torpedo boats in your navy, and therefore Crazed doesn't have them. But it can always be surprising as a Styrbjorn player when you walk in with 30 of those subs, and the big weakness of UAF is definitely the subs. And but of course they have a special solution with the torpedo boat, but until they are out, Crazed would lose some ships. But as it is, I think Lion just does not have any, and instead he has destroyers. Now his 2nd battleship out, but you can see here Styrbjorn building a Tech 3 UAF Navy in that ocean, which is very helpful and necessary probably for Lion at this very moment, because he's much behind on Tech 3 Navy. He has now 3 ships, but the UEF battleships, they outrange the Styrbjorn ones, and they do more damage, have more HP, they're the battleship overall, and of course you also have the shield boats, so at this very moment Navy looks bad for the south side, even though of my couple of boats here. We see Tiep moving in slowly. We missed one thing, I remember. It was a nice move by Crotalus. I had started a GC here in this position, and Crotalus built, we can just see the last salve, built tactical missile launchers, like 12 or 13 or something, maybe even more, and TML'd my half-built GC. That was a really good move by Crotalus, and since it was built so fast and I had no intel, I really did miss it, and when those 12 missiles or 15 missiles landed, the GC just died. Over here, let's have a look at what kind of Navy VIP has. VIP has 2 battleships, no battle cruiser, instead he has 18 destroyer. I'm not a big fan of it. I would like to see, like, for the same amount of mass, probably 4 or 5 battle cruiser. They would be much better. 19 frigates and just a few cruiser, which is good because he doesn't need many cruiser in a naval fight. 7 shield boats. Tiep have? Tiep have also 2 Tech 3 ships. Of course, also the Styrbjorn one is inferior to the UAF one. Those UAF destroyers seem to do quite a good job here. I mean, they do a lot of damage, but they miss a lot and they're short range, not torpedoes. That's why I don't like them that much. It looks like VIP might hold here. There are 11 destroyers left. I don't know. It's a close one. Meanwhile, over here, Crazed is now sending in the battle cruisers. Is good ship movement while he is shooting with his battleships from the back. His battle cruiser move, and now they have a slightly shorter range than the Styrbjorn battleship, but they do insane amount of DPS, and with all that hover coming in, you can see almost all the Tech 2 boats from line are gone, and there's still a lot of hover spam. There is more battle cruisers, more battleships. This is looking really bad for the bottom side now. You can see one battleship has already died. There's a replacement, but this is 2 battleships against 4, and those will probably die rather soon to the battle cruisers. The battle cruisers all have very low health. This is a situation where you need to micro your ships and focus fire on them one by one, because you do not want, like, doing 20k damage to each of those and they have them still firing, so you really want to kill them. But we see now another 2 battleships coming in from no, this is there's so much happening now. We see Tech 3 torpedo bombers from Foley helping out here, and it looks, and now we see hover spam from mid again, and the hover spam again against battleships is really good. It's really bad against battle cruisers, but they are fighting over here, and now the battleships have a very low shooting frequency. They do insane amount of damage, but you don't need insane amount of damage against small hover tanks. You want a high rate of fire and kill them fast, and and this battleship will go down, and probably this one will go down also. And it looks like the bottom side might have survived the first wave of attack. Meanwhile, here on the other side, now we have Tech 3 subs in play, and it looks like they're just the battleships left for VIP. I think he should get out 1 or 2 battle cruiser. He should have already had another Tech 3 naval yard up, making battle cruisers while spamming battleships out of the other one. Against Tech 1 frigates, the battleships are just not good. But Tiep is not having like an overwhelmingly force. It might be the case that VIP is gonna hold here. There's still 5 battleships. 1 will go down soon. They hold a lot of damage also. And Tiep just has 1 battleship left. Just 4 destroyers, and the rest is T1. I think this is not the perfect micro by the Tiep. Those frigates are not shooting. Those subs are not shooting at the moment. This is not good. He is really pressuring right now, and also these frigates are not shooting. They should already be in here and killing engineers while they can. He's missing damage here, and he could really. I think if those already had shot this production for the last 2 minutes or so, it would have been really bad for VIP. But as it is now, those frigates didn't do it, and now VIP getting torpedo boats. They are not that bad against frigates. He needs some of those for the Tech 3 subs. So this is a good decision by VIP. In terms of eco, VIP is of course ahead, or not of course, but he is ahead now in terms of eco by like 60 to 70 mass. Although I think I missed it, I would guess there was another run of strategic bombers from FoleyBTS, but I just did miss it. On the left hand side, we see I saw restorers taking out the last of the horse spam. We still see 2 battleships left for Styrbjorn. We see a huge amount of UAF battleships under shields for CrazedChariot. We see, however, 5 or 6 battleships for Lion. But it's 6 Styrbjorn against 6 UAF under shields with 2 UAF. It's pretty close here. We see a GC being finished by Styrbjorn. We see a GC basically being finished by Crotalus. So at this stage of the game, it's mostly for defensive purposes. It's not. I will not go in there with the navy just killing the GC rather quick. So, and the same is true for Crotalus, I guess. Actually, Crotalus now has overtaken me slightly in eco. You can see all the mass fabricator spam, which is probably a bit ahead in the mass fabricator spam. We see Lion with a 406 economy to CrazedChariot, so this is dead even. And Tiep is ahead on score, a bit behind on eco. So when you look at this, it's all players are so close together. It's really a very close match in basically every spot, and the whole economy thing is so even. There are some, I mean, Foley is slightly ahead, but Crazed is, it is really even game at this moment. We see the battleships still being there. It looks like this push is not really successful. We now see Tech 3 torpedo bombers being built by the Crotalus. So that's really nice. I like this. He's spamming pigeons and more Tech 3 air, which is probably a good decision because I think in terms of air, Hakuto is slightly behind. He had 305 at 30 minutes. That's not a bad number. And we have 360 with 19 out of fuel. So we have a slight advantage. And in most circumstances, I would also give Foley a slight advantage in in ASF micro. So I think the air situation is kind of dangerous for the top side. But of course, there is no real place to fight at the moment. You never want to fight with these kind of numbers. You definitely do not want to fight over enemy territory, because 600 potential dead ASF means so much mass that it can really shift a battle. So reclaim is a big issue in this game in general. Every time you have to retreat from an unsuccessful push, you leave all the wreckages there, and they will give a huge economy boost for a certain amount of time to the other player, and it can really shift battles really quick. So in general, you should think twice about pushing, and only push if you think you have very good chances of succeeding. Otherwise, don't push. So I think both front players have this kind of silent agreement to not do a lot against each other and fight in other places. Crotalus helping out here with Tech 3 torps, here over with hover spam. Styrbjorn is sending in hover spam too and making Tech 3 navies. So I think it is the way it should be, because a push at this stage of the game with a GC does not make any sense, or with a couple of even with more than one GC, I think it will be unsuccessful like almost every time, and it will leave huge reclaim on the other side. So a fat boy can be useful because it has range. You can shoot this position, and when the GC walks out to kill the fat boy, you can run, and then you can go back in and kind of do some annoying terror for the other front player. Okay, we see Star here, which are drawing the attention from the air player, and Foley is sending his SF into. He has 31 out of fuel. He really needs refuel stations to recharge his ASF. Is he getting any? I do not see it yet. He really needs to do it. It looks like the bottom side is pushing CrazedChariot back slowly, which is of course very good, because there is a lot of reclaim then. It's sad that this replay took place before the reclaim stat was implemented, and because I cannot check the numbers, but I would bet that the Styrbjorn and me and Lion have a huge reclaim advantage over Crazed so far. Of course, this might be, on the other hand, VIP with him pushing back Tiep. The same is true for VIP. We'll probably get a lot of reclaim. So let's check any game enders or nukes are being planned. I do not... there is a nuke D for Foley. I'm not sure this placement is not perfect, but it's fine. It covers his commander, so that's probably the idea behind it. It doesn't cover this area, and it doesn't cover the back of his... oh, it's not even his commander's commander there. His commander is not covered by the nuke D. We do not see a nuke D for Tiep. He doesn't have a nuke either. Do we have a nuke D up front? Yes, we have a nuke D up front. And do we have a nuke D for line? Yes. And line also has a nuke launcher. So we have one nuke in play for the bottom side. Let's check the top side. It seems that there is no nuke D for CrazedChariot. There is one nuke D here with the classic placement. I think this is one of the best places to place your nuke D. It covers this area, it covers everything here, it covers the back. We do see a nuke D in the front. We do see it. We do see a nuke D here for the rock player, for VIP. I think nuke D for the rock player is often placed here, but I really think the production is so much more important in most games. I think this is a good placement. It should probably be built more often in this area. Now it looks like there might be an airfight incoming. I will slow it down now to check the numbers. VIP has 351. Of course, Okuto gave his ASF probably because of unit cap to VIP, but also VIP is a master of air micro, and that makes sense from that point. So we have 460 with 40 out of fuel. Fuck, I forgot it again. And we had 360 or something for VIP, so 100 ASF advantage for Foley. There is not a lot of AA for either side, so I do not see cruisers, I do not see SAMs, so there's some frigate fire. Let's see how this turns out. I will put it on +1, but of course it's -6 during the airfight. Even though this is one of the latest i7s, it's still getting slow during those huge airfights. On the left hand side it looks like it is slowly going into winning for the bottom side, but it is not a lot of progress. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 battleships here, or 8. 8 is just incoming. Again, like 7 plus 1, so and there is this will take some time for either side to be decided. In the airfight, looks like Foley will win. Of course, he had more ASF. Looks like there are no subs here by just a very few. No Tech 3 subs, but Tiep here in this area, and he has like 7 battleships against 4, and there's another one coming in. I think it looks like Tiep will have to retreat soonish. Of course, Air's 1 now, and we do not know what Air can do to VIP now. There are strategic bombs incoming now. They're probably going for the build power, which is a good choice. Seraphim has a huge splash damage. Second only to the Styrbjorn ones. You can see very nice bomber micro here. I think they are spread out their bombs. Yeah, that was not perfect. I think one bomb should have been dropped a bit more over here, but this was probably like 100 dead engineers and really slowing down VIP in terms of production. You see this max not being built, it was just tech 3 and got destroyed. VIP should rebuild. Maybe he shouldn't, but I think when he's holding Navy he should rebuild this as soon as possible. And it looks like that the island got bombed again and missed it again. But it's always annoying when you get permanently bombed on the island. That's why you should put up a shield here also. Get this SAM launcher out. There's no Tech 3 on the island, just Tech 2. You should transport in 1 Tech 3 engineer and build just 2 SAMs. And yeah, we can see now that Tiep has to retreat. He's inferior number in everything at this very moment here in this area. So we finally see hover spam from VIP, which is absolutely necessary. And now this area is reclaim heaven, and there is so much mass from probably 600 dead or 700 dead airslave, and a lot of ships of any kind. Now we see a huge mistake here. I remember from my point of view, now I see it, but I remember before I moved to Fat Boy ahead, I told Foley to scout, and I was hoping that this one unit of the walking was not a PC, but it wasn't. I lose my Fat Boy. That was a rather bad decision. But it was not as bad as it could have been, because my Fat Boy and the GC and everything else kills his GC. And even though it's bad I lose this, I kill his GC, and I have the Fat Boy and the GC wreckage on my side, and I will get the reclaim. So it's bad, but not as bad as it could have been. You can see I'm power stalling here, getting huge power spam, and of course with all the mass fabricates drawing the power. So it is just not moving. It was the same a couple of minutes ago, and it's just not going forward for either side. And we see some hover things coming in from Styrbjorn. We see more hover things coming in from Crotalus. Then again, if you look at this, I think it's very, very rare that all players are so close to each other. Like when you look at those scores, like even the front players are very close to all the other players. It's basically so even on all spots. And the only spot that has a huge, or rather big advantage is Foley. Is way more eco, 120 or 100 more mass and 10k, 12k more power, and he won the air fight, so he's really ahead of his opponent. So let's see if he can make it count. And it looks like he does. He has 3 torpedo bombers, which is a good choice. It forces VIP to make cruisers or SAMs, but he will suffer from them until the cruisers are out. And now we see Tech 3 subs again from Tiep, which is a good choice because it forces VIP also to build take 2 top boats. VIP needs basically everything. He needs shield boats, cruisers, torpedo boats, battleships, some battle cruisers against the hot spam. It's really, that is why as UAF you should also have, I would probably suggest like 3 Tech 2 factories or 4, because you need to build so many different ships and you really want to be flexible and build all this in your production. So see here, now the Fatboy has already been reclaimed, that you see is going to be reclaimed, and we see Styrbjorn building his gases. Remember, this ACU was given to me by Lion, thank you very much, and this gases will be a problem. I think the top side did not scout it, they do not know it is being built, and this gases will drag the front base and then start shooting at the navy sides. It's still right now, it looks as if Crazed is falling a bit behind. It's 5 battleships, but it's not that much more by the bottom side, so it's still not decided on the left side. But of course Crazed is fighting a very good fight with inferior economy compared to Lion. Lion just naturally has a better position. So Crazed, you can see Crazed is on 2nd place here after 36 minutes as beach. That's a great job here. Actually the other beach, Tiep, is also ahead of his of the other rock player. And you can see Lion here in last place score-wise after 36 minutes. A rock player with a full base and full economy being in last place. It's I've never seen. I'm not sure if I've seen it before. It's very uncommon, but it is not the case because Lion's playing bad. It is just because the level of play in every spot is really high, and it's really close. And of course, it's when you lose more ships than you kill, and you lose score also. And, those you have battleships are just so much superior to the Cyber ones. So, that's probably what I was on the bottom end of the score. Oh, there was a drop. There was a couple of Tech 3 boats. It will be annoying because when you build those mass FAFs in this place, when it blows up, it will do a lot of damage to the area. So it will not do much more damage, but this was some nice damage for 2 boats. We can see here VIP getting attacked by more torpedo bombers. You can see now VIP reacted very well and did the right thing, building cruisers. Still shipboat spam. Of course, when he's building cruisers and just has 1 Tech 2 factory, the second one here, he will now have no torpedo defense, and you can see the subs coming in now, and they're pretty much uncontested at the moment. That is the disaster for UAF. You always need different ships. So those are getting free shots. Nothing is shooting back. The battleships have no torps. The shipboat have no torps. The frigates have no torps, and nothing. The battleship has no torps also. So don't know. Tiep should not retreat those. I mean, he should keep them moving because he could, VIP could ground fire those subs with the battleships, but he should really ensure that those submarines keep shooting their torpedoes. And now it looks like the GC from Styrbjorn wiped out this front position over here. And as you can see, a couple of more Tech 3 and Tech 2 boats coming in. But the GC has to retreat to the other GC, waiting for reinforcements. The South team is discussing where a line should finally shoot his nuke. My suggestion was to nuke the island. I think it would have been a good target. Of course, CrazedChariot does not have a nuke D. I think it was not scouted that well. So we do not see a nuke D, but it was not scouted regularly, I think. And if we knew he had no nuke D, I mean, either this area with the Tech 2 factories and the Tech 3, this would be a very good target, or somewhere here killing all the production would be insanely good. Let's have a look. Line shooting. Oh, actually now the gas is in play and firing. It will do huge damage. Oh, there's one thing. Line built a Soul Ripper, and this will not do anything. There is so much flag, and actually I remember in game we told him he should retreat it, and he wanted Foley to cover it, and there is no way Foley can cover it here. I mean, he has air control, but there's already so much flag. There are some cruisers, there might be SAMs, no, there are no SAMs yet, but this one is slow moving, and you cannot expect this one to do any damage in this area at this very moment, with so much flag already being there. Foley cannot fight over 60 flags or so. He will lose his air, even to the inferior numbers. And of course, the Soul Ripper itself will suffer big time from those flags. So I really disagree with sending it anywhere here. You can see the front base getting crippled by the gases now. Yeah, I think the bottom side has not even, the top side has not really realized that this gases is killing the mid base. Now Kutu does realize, I think. Yeah, and now the drama is happening, some 35k mass or something, and it is just not protectable. I mean, Foley might try to, but actually in this case I would, it's just one pass. There is just nothing Foley can do. If he fights air here, he loses 300 AZ. And Lion is complaining, which he shouldn't, because it was a bad idea in the first place. It was just a nice master nation to CrazedChariot. Yeah, Foley is saying exactly right. There was no place to fight. It was just a waste of mice. Meanwhile, this gases is still shooting the front base. On the right hand side, this is up to the point where the UEF Navy really shines, having a lot of those long range, high DPS ships. And this will be very hard for Tiep to counter now, especially with VIP getting reclaimed for the next couple of minutes. It's like a turbo boost for your economy every time you can get such a reclaimed fleet. On the left hand side, there is really no one is getting any ground. I think 10 minutes ago it looked basically the same here. And when the navies are standing still, each side can reclaim the own ships that die. You can see this here. There is just absolutely no wreckage in here.
Strategic
so Craze
launch
reclaimed
detected.
everything. He built ships, they die, he reclaims, he builds new ships with it. And the same is true for the bottom side. This is as clean as it gets. There is just nothing here. Everything is reclaimed. And this area there is still some reclaim left, and that is a problem with the hover spam permanently incoming, because the hover spam prevents from reclaiming. Always a side that is able to send the hover spam through the other player's side will always kill all the reclaim engines on the way, and that is another reason why the hover spam is so good. It really prevents reclaim, and reclaim is so essential. And now Line is sending a nuke in. I think he must not have realized Craze doesn't have a nuke D. I mean, it's really uncommon for a player to have no nuke D at 40 minutes, but CrazedChariot does not have a nuke D. And of course this nuke, there were much better targets. It will kill an almost dead battleship and a cruiser and some hover tanks. It was not worth it, but I've seen worse nukes. So. Right here, this is really getting dangerous. With, I don't know, almost 10 battleships here, and more incoming. It's will be a bad situation for Tiep rather soon. And of course, the front economy suffered from the scarces. Also, the scarces right now is shooting on the left navy. You can see the range of the scarces. The range is here, so it can shoot down all the shields, and it has a kind of a nice splash damage also, so it can also kill the hover spam. And with the shields being down all the time, the advantage for UF goes a bit down. Now here we see a lot of strategic bombers from Hokuto. Of course, they have been spotted, it seems like. Foley is sending SF. Hokuto sees the SF from Foley and retreats his bombers, but I think those bombers will die, which is tragic. There's a lot of mass flying there. Maybe at least he can get them over land. He should really move them. No turn. He should really move them here, so that at least all that mass rains on land directly in front of CrazedChariot, so CrazedChariot could reclaim it. That's what he should have done. Instead, they will fall off map or on water, giving less reclaim. There is really no chance for him to save it, so they will die. So this really looks ugly for Tiep now. And over here we see a Tempest from Crotalus. Tempest is a really good weapon, it's very strong. Huge range, huge splash damage, good torpedoes. But of course you see Crotalus Eco, he was ahead of Styrbjorn in Eco a little while back. He had close to 400 mass, now he's down to 255, and it's getting worse. With the Scarces having 140 kills already. And at this very moment there is no real solution to the Scarces. I mean, I remember in this situation I already thought that the Scarces could suffer from those Tech 3 battleships later on, because it really looked like Tiep was in trouble. Right now Tiep has 3 battleships, Seraphim battleships against. Ten. 13. I mean, this is an almost unstoppable force now. But there are no battle cruisers in this, which it's never really good to build a navy only out of the same ship. You should always have different ships to be prepared for different situations that can appear later on. Now I redirect the fire from the Scarces already on the Tech 3 ships over here. But of course against that much navy it is just not doing that much. And also Foley is reacting and building Tempest. The Tempest is really good. You can build it rather quick with very few build power. You can see the engineers. Can you see? Can we see it now? One engineer draws 66 mass, so you can build those rather quick. You get huge firepower at a rather low time, rather short time. You can see one engineer needs 6 minutes. This is 9 engineers, I think. Not all are building, but so in theory, if you have 6 engineers, you can build 1 Tempest every minute if you have the mass to build it. So this is a fast way to get firepower when needed. That is why Crotalus is building them too, because it's much faster than to build a Tech 3 naval yard first if you're not the naval player yourself. Right now it looks like CrazedChariot is pushing back with the hover spam again and killing all the reclaim engines, which is annoying because you never want to lose your reclaim engines. But on the front there are 2 T4s walking in now, a Mangalas and GC. Don't know this lonely battleship. I think I wanted to kill the Tech 3 pigeons from Crazed. I'm not sure if we can see this. As you see, I wanted to kill those pigeons, but of course Crazed doesn't let me. It was probably a bad idea, because it would just have worked if no one did notice, but we should not count on that versus players like Crazed or Crotalus. You can see they noticed focused fire, killed the battleship in a couple of seconds, so that was not so good. But of course, right now the experimentals are advancing. I'm not sure that they have no radar at all. They do not see the T4s marching in, and no one has an Omni. Of course, Crotalus lost his Omni, but this is a situation where whoever, I mean, everybody should notice that they have lost their radar, and they have a radar. Is it turned off? I don't know. Why don't I see it? Is VIP out of power? Oh, it's not an Omni sensor, it's a Tech 2 radar here. That's very bad. Hokuto should immediately build, or Crazed, someone should immediately build an Omni sensor. This late in the game is so dangerous if you do not see anything. And I think I missed an Awasa here, which just got shot down and initiated an airfight, but it didn't do any damage. It killed a couple of cruisers. Was not put to very good use by Tiep there. Yeah, with the Navy is getting shot now. The Navy is focusing fire on SCASs they do not even see, but I think they scouted it and locked it in. So even if you lose radar coverage and you have locked the target in, your ship's still shooting, and you will see SCAS's wreckage appear here rather soon, even though there is no radar coverage. And they still do not see two experimentals being in their base, basically. You can see I'm trying to build shields as fast as possible, upgrading those shields, but of course, I mean, this is such a huge force, so you just cannot shield it. Now the first shots are starting to hit the lovely SCASs with 230 kills, 225 kills. And the next shot will be the last. So the SCASs is down. Even if you do not have radar coverage, you can still see when the unit dies, when the wreckage appears. Now he knows he successfully killed the SCASs, which is bad. But it looks like Tempest has been completed. There's hover spam from
strategic launch detected.
Those battleships are heavily damaged now. He should concentrate his fire. He should, with those that many battleships, one self is 9k damage. So, and this one has 40k damage, 40k HP left. So he could just one shot with all his battleships, and this one would be dead. That's what he should be doing. And then he should one shot this one, and then there is nothing left. We have another nuke launched. This nuke was launched by Hokuto, I guess, from the... don't know where it is going. It seems like both beach players completely neglected to build a nuke team, so this is tragic. Such a nice base, very good looking, a lot of mass fabricators, Tech 3 pigeons, but I guess it will be gone now, although I think it's here somewhere. I think the right target would have been the naval production at this very moment, because if this naval production dies now, and VIP can just kill the rest of the base for free. So still, I mean, it looks like the bottom side made progress of like a couple of inches, but this one is still, it's not looking as if this will be over soon. And you can see the Tempest has probably been shot now. But now there is huge hover spam, and VIP should immediately react. And well, now they noticed the incoming tech force. They had one GC there, but of course a GC and a Megalith kill a GC, and luckily my GC survived and might kill a couple of those pigeons. If he gets a lucky veteran scene, he might kill more. But now there are strategic bombers from Hokuto, but it looks like everything died here in that area, which is good because Crazed lost a lot of his power. He had like 15 or 20k earlier. He's now back to his res and probably one pigeon. Yeah, and that is a huge loss for him. And we can see the nuke hit here. It was a good shot, but I think given this situation here, with the Navy being that close, it would have been slightly better to nuke the production. Because if he wins Navy, they can wipe out this base and they can wipe out the front too. What I wanted to say earlier, VIP should already produce battle cruisers. It's those battleships will lose even to this artillery spam, because they have such as they fire every 20 seconds. So every 20 seconds you shoot 9,000 damage, and one of those artilleries would be killed with 170 damage. So it is really just not the right ship to shoot. Take one or take two hover spam. It is a great ship to shoot other big ships or any stationary targets, but it is not the right ship to stop hover spam. And I mean, VIP has some hover spam on his own, but I think it would be smart to get like 5 battle cruisers and go from there. The problem has still not been solved. It seems like now Hokuto is starting a chicken. It's really, even at minute 45, the scores are so close together, and all economies are rather
Strategic
close
launch
together. You can
detected.
see Crotalus has the second most or third most power in the game. He has the lowest mass income, but he is probably those are all RAS commanders. RAS SSCUs, some of them are. And he has more here, so he has still a huge power income, but of course this huge power cluster will go down soon killed by the Megalith. And there is another ACU getting an upgrade, 29, 380. This is the Rise upgrade, I think. He's spamming more Tempest. Crazed is still not giving in, fighting to plate the whole time basically. He has some support from Crotalus, but I think Lion got more support from me. And you can see battleships are not made against hover spam. The Styrbjorn battleships are probably the best against hover spam from any of the battleships, because they have a high rate of fire, but still it's not the unit you want to have. Probably you want to have gunships. When you're a Styrbjorn, you want the gunships to do the job for you. This nuke was good, although I think Crazed is still not loaded, so we could have still nuked everything in Crazed space, but this one, now Crazed is out of Tech 3 ships, which is really bad for him. And, at this point, there's still so many ships here, and that was a good nuke. Meanwhile, the Megalith is still cutting through the pigeons. Up to 68 kills now. It's not that he got that many kills, but he got really good kills. There was a lot of them. On the front, I'm about to lose the nuke D in mid, which is terrible because I will lose the base to the nuke. Right now we see another Tempest, which should probably never have been finished. We should have focused the fire on the Tempest. We see Restore against the Horror Spam, and again Tiep did a smart move by changing from battleships to subs. I mean, UAF battleship is good when ground firing against subs, but if they kept moving, and BIP again needs a different ship. He needs either Tempest top bombers or torpedo boats, and it will take a long time for those to arrive, and those will get a lot of free shots. Of course, it seems like TF didn't pay attention and lost the sub here, and now he's moving again, and VIP is doing the right thing with the ground fire, but I think he should just invest one shot to kill the Orthos Tempest. It does a lot of damage and he wants to get away. Now you can see more pigeons gone for the top side and another pigeon cluster gone. Tiep wants me to creep backwards with the crab. He says if I don't know how to do it, I should give it to him, but the chicken doesn't want to fight at this very moment against the Thota. It will lose anyway, but it was getting shot by this one as well, so I thought we did not see the chicken anyway. I mean, we saw it, but we did not have complete radar coverage. So I thought that it's better to go for another, to kill another max. Don't know. It's debatable. But I get this max, and I think I get this max too. Meanwhile, CrazedChariot says good game. I don't think it was a kill, I think it was Introcate and gave up. But this situation is looking bad for the top side. Megalith killed 2 more Tech 3 maxes, which I think with them dying anyway, it was a better choice than to shoot a couple of shots on the chicken. Now the nuke D is gone from the front, which I would probably be died in the nuke fire very soon. I think Hokuto should give this base immediately to Crotalus. Crotalus is first of all a good player, and he has nothing to do at this very moment, so he should really give it to him as soon as possible. Instead, Hokuto has a very low reaction time in this case. He doesn't build any ships.
Strategic launch detected.
Build any hover spam, which he should. It's essential. I mean, they could probably hold this for another 10 minutes with that many Tech 2 factories and the build power still being alive. I think they should not give in here. I mean, they will not win this, but yeah, and Crotalus is saying start the Tech 2 spam, but Hokuto is not doing it now. Of course, now he does the right thing and gives it to Crotalus. They lost some time here. Don't know, Crotalus probably didn't even realize it was given to him. He did not start any spam yet, which is bad. This is something that happens sometimes, and it's really bad because they now start the hover spam. But I think Chris died 2 minutes ago, and they just wasted so much time, which will make them lose this navy much faster than it was necessary. And you can see now the subs with the Tempest and the hover spam. Now the battleships have to retreat. Still not a single battle cruiser from VIP. It's not good. He should have had a lot of battle cruisers by now. You can see hover spam from here, hover spam from here. This is a lot of Tech 2 tanks, and the battleships are just not the right choice. Now my front position got nuked. There was an excellent nuke from the positioning. It killed almost all my Tech 3 pigeons. Now I think it with this navy dying rather soon. He's still not using the naval guns. This is not good for Crotalus. Does he have mass? Actually, Crotalus has 30k. Or almost 40k mass, so he should really pump out battleships and battle cruiser from here. He doesn't do it, of course. He doesn't have enough power. Well, they had a huge power loss. He's rebuilding power, which is good, but he should just not using all the Tech 3 navy guns. I mean, this hover spam is doing a good job, but if this hover spam would be supported by Tech 3 ships, they might hold this for really another 10 minutes or so. Meanwhile, we see a couple of restorers doing some damage, but not too much. There are a lot of cruisers now. He's already retreating. But I think with this navy having to retreat to the hover spam, still no battle cruisers from VIP. So he will not stop this hover spam with his Tech 3 ships. We have a chicken here. The chicken is shooting the battleships are shooting the chicken. The Tech 2 hover spam kills the battleships. You see more hover spam from Makoto. Crotalus is going for a Paragon. I'm not sure if they have enough time to finish it, but this hover spam is huge. It's really huge. You can see the battleships going on now. That is unlucky. Those SACUs underwater are really good. They don't get shot by the primary weapons. It's just torpedoes that can kill them, and they can suck up the mass very fast and give huge mass bonus. There are some battle cruisers from Styrbjorn now. This is what VIP should have done also. They are really good against the hover spam. But on the other side, the VIP tries to find the hover spam's battleships, which will not work. This island is safe. You can see the hover spam with just so many targets. So the battleship goes down. This battleship will go down soon. Don't know why is he spamming flag. This is not good. We should need more riptides. Really
Strategic
want to hold
launch
this
detected.
position. And Styrbjorn, I should have already moved those a bit away, because you of course have a huge range advantage. There is another nuke launched by Hokuto. This has already 150 kills. Don't know. This is, I think the nuke went here, and this is what Hokuto probably did, because it's, remember, it's right on the edge. This is what pros do. And you take, for example, your commander in this case, because it's not Tech 3, which is not good. But you take a Tech 3 engineer, select the nuke D, similar to where the RT was. You place the nuke D above the opponent's nuke D, and you can clearly see there's a circle where the nuke D shot. So if you shoot here, you will kill here, because the nuke D is out of range. So, oh, there's another nuke. I don't know where this is going. This looks like it's going for the production from VIP. And you can see this was, will be most likely a very good nuke by Hokuto. Very well done. Nice shot by Hokuto. And Foley stating that he could have gotten his comp. And he's right, because Foley had interesting commander positioning without being in a place saved by nuke D. Tiep still does not have a nuke D, minute 51. And you can see now there's some gunships trying to stop the horror spam. There's still not a single battle cruiser from VIP. It is, I think, the top side feels like this is game over. He stopped the horror spam, which I did not agree with, or I would not have recommended. I mean, there is not that, I mean, it's a lot, but if those all were hover tanks and they were streaming in there, the space would exist for another 10 minutes at least. Meanwhile, this is really VIP in this battle cruises. Monkey, okay, so 9 has and Tiep. They have dropped SACUs here and building Spider and Demegalus. They're killing the nuke D. And there's a lot of flag now, which is good against Restore. And meanwhile, Tiep and Foley are cleaning up. You can see almost. There was a huge fight here a couple of minutes ago. Now everything, all the mass sucked up. So we have a huge, two huge wreckages here. Here are more Tech 3 ships. Here are a couple more. And they can basically clean out that ocean, and they will get huge mass for it. Let's have a look how far the Paragon is. The Paragon is just built by Crotalus with 500 mass income, plus some reclaim. But we're cut off the reclaim now, so this will take some time. Probably VIP should... Don't know, does he have mass? Nope. That's always a problem when you get cut off your reclaim. You can maintain your production, but you cannot do a lot of other projects. And while the other team, I bet Tiep has a lot of mass store. Well, yeah. I mean, he is consuming 1,200 mass. Don't know where this is going, but he is getting huge reclaim. So. VIP is saying Tiep played fine, but he said he himself is better. I don't know. At least VIP did not build a single battle cruiser in a 53-minute game against constant hover spam. Styrbjorn getting a couple of satellites. It's an annoyance. The spider is coming out of the water, and unless they finish this Paragon really quick, which they can't because no one is supporting Crotalus, unless this navy. I think it's the silver spam will not break this anymore. It's just too much, but it's not necessary because you can shoot artilleries until the end of the game, while Tiep is building his pyramids to wipe out the rest of the battlefield.
Strategic launch detected.
No, this is Nuke D. This is loaded. But if I remember correctly, it's going for those ships. Yeah, you can see Nuke is hitting there. And if this nuke hit there, it's tragic. Do they have anything to defend the spider? Well, always when your beach is down, I think as an airplane you need a couple of experimentals. Or at least one, because sooner or later it's almost certain that there will be some shit coming out of that beach. And you don't want to lose too much. Now the nuke hit, killed a lot of ships, which is now the end of left, but it's just a slow death. Pick two gunships now coming in. And we see the numbers at minute 54. 300 for Foley and 260 for Hope. It looks like Crotalus deciding this game is over, and so did VIP. And Photo is the last Brave Warrior. Now it's
Strategic launch detected.
now he's nuking where he would have gotten Foley's commander earlier, but I would bet Foley is not there anymore. Let's check. Nope. Foley left the dangerous area. VIP says that the air imbalance saved the day. Of course, it was a huge advantage for the south side that they had basically air control for the whole game. But I think Foley did not like totally wreck someone. I mean, of course it did. He did very good damage, but it was not like he was threatening everybody all the time. So I think the neighbor could have won if he made a better ship decision. Of course, the left-hand side, Crazed put up an insanely good fight. He would have beaten the line, definitely, if it was not for the Tech 3 ships, the Horror Spam and the Tech 3 torpedo bombers. So, but it was still a very close game. Now we're just waiting for the brave Kuto to die. Kuto decided to use a transport, to go somewhere else. Journey. You can see all his power getting killed, the satellite coming in, killing the pigeons, Restorer coming in. This base will be gone in the next minute or so. Another Megalith standing still. Now they are moving. Kuto going in. This is a journey into darkness. He has no radar coverage anymore. You can see he has no power anymore. It's all gone. He probably just has double res on his commander. Boom. Some ASF from Foley took him down. This is the end of a 56-minute Proceedings game, which was a rather good one. I hope you enjoyed watching, and see you for the next Seeds cast.